So the narrative coming out of Ohio State when Coach Tony Alford decided to leave the Buckeyes for Michigan was pretty simple. He was washed, he couldn't recruit anymore, and he wasn't an elite running back coach. And honestly, some Michigan fans started saying the same thing after his first season in Ann Arbor. Of course, nobody remembers saying that now, kind of like certain fans conveniently forgot they wanted John Beeline fired.
What?
But all Tony Alford has ever done his entire career is recruit elite talent, develop running backs, and go about his work without needing the spotlight. And credit to Coach Kyle Whittingham for understanding the value Coach Tony Alford brings to this program. Because this weekend was just another reminder of why he's one of the most respected running back coaches in the country. Because he just landed 2027 four-star running back Tyson Robinson, a 5'10", 200-pound explosive playmaker out of Jackson, Mississippi, giving the Wolverines one of the top running back commitments in the country early in the 2027 cycle. And like I said in a previous video about Xavier Muhammad, this wasn't just another commitment either. Alabama wanted him, Tennessee wanted him, Georgia wanted him, Ole Miss wanted him. Everybody saw the talent, but Tyson Robinson chose Michigan. Better yet, Tyson Robinson chose Tony Alford. And when you look at the way Michigan has recruited over the last month, especially since the coaching transition, it's becoming really clear that this staff is really starting to pick up true momentum on the recruiting trail. And personally, I think it's about time people start putting some respect on Tony Alford's name. This is another episode of The Breakdown. Let's get it. So Michigan goes into the South again and pulls out a top recruit again. When I tell you that this staff is cooking, I mean they are cooking.
You can see the color.
Beautiful. Tyson Robinson might end up being one of the most important recruiting wins for Michigan this entire cycle, not just because of who the player is, but because of what this recruitment says about Michigan's momentum right now. You're talking about a top running back out of Mississippi, SEC country. Programs down south do not lose many running backs like this, especially to Michigan. And yet, Michigan walked right in there and pulled him right on out. That tells me this recruitment was deeper than logos and hype. And the more you read about Tyson Robinson's recruitment, the more you understand why Michigan won this recruiting battle. Robinson kept bringing up Tony Alford. Not NIL, not branding, not hype, Tony Alford. Robinson even called Alford a father figure and said they talk about life, not just football. That tells you this recruitment was built on trust and long-term development. Now, obviously, NIL plays a role in that, but Michigan's approach lately feels more rooted in trust and development than pure transactional recruiting. Now, let's talk about the actual football player. Robinson is a 2027 four-star running back out of Brandon High School in Jackson, Mississippi. He's listed around 5'9", 195, 200 pounds, and according to the Rivals industry rankings, Robinson is currently ranked as the number 14 running back in America and a top 250 overall national player and one of the top players in the entire state of Mississippi. Last season, Robinson rushed for over 1,000 yards on 165 carries while adding nearly 300 receiving yards and 9 total touchdowns. But honestly, those stats tell only part of the story. What jumps out on tape to me is how advanced of a running back he is. Some backs just rely on raw athleticism. But Robinson already understands pacing, he understands leverage, he understands timing. You watch him press the line of scrimmage, force linebackers to commit, then explode through cutback lanes. That's advanced running back play for somebody so young. And physically, he already has that modern-day compact running back build. Low center of gravity, strong lower half, sudden feet, really good balance through contact. His cuts are violent, but they are efficient. That's important because a lot of young backs can make sharp cuts, but Robinson doesn't lose momentum coming out of them. And once he gets into space, you really start seeing the athlete take over. Robinson is a multi-sport athlete with a track and field background. The acceleration shows up immediately on tape. The burst through traffic is obvious. And once he clears the second level, there's another gear there. 24/7 specifically praised his vision, his ability to identify cutback lanes early, his burst through traffic, his creativity in space, and his receiving upside. And stylistically, there are definitely moments where a couple names come to mind watching him. There's a little Jahmyr Gibbs in the way he operates in space. There are flashes of, dare I say, Travion Henderson with the burst and the suddenness. But honestly, the safest comparison for Michigan fans is probably going to be Blake Corum stylistically. Now, I'm not saying they're identical players, it's just how they're built. Everything Robinson does feels smooth and economical, just like Blake Corum played. And honestly, I think this commitment says a lot about where Michigan is headed offensively. Michigan clearly has an identity at running back. Explosive athletes, guys who can catch the ball out of the backfield, and guys who can put stress on the defense in space, not just downhill runners. And Tyson Robinson fits that vision perfectly. When you pop in his tape, the first thing that jumps out to you isn't just his speed, it's his control. I can't stress this enough in how this kid really understands pacing, leverage, angles, and timing. And for a high school running back, that is advanced stuff. But maybe the bigger story here is this. Tony Alford continues to prove why he's one of the best running back coaches in the country, because elite running backs continue to trust him with their future. All right, Michigan fans, that's it for this episode of The Breakdown. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and also hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when we put out another video. I'll see you on the next one.
If you like this kind of content, please like, share, follow, and subscribe. And as always, go blue.